energy efficiency kind of started to become a concept and a thing in the U.S. In like the late 70s and around the 80s. We started putting insulation in our attics and we started sealing up our homes. If you have a home that's around that age or older, there's a decent chance that it could use some upgrades, particularly with insulation and air sealing.
Welcome to the Home Comfort Zone podcast. I'm Theresa. I'm the marketing manager at All Comfort Services. Today I have Dylan Crye, who's the Inflation Reduction Act program manager at Focus on Energy. Welcome, Dylan.
Thank you. Thanks for having us.
So, Inflation Reduction Act program manager. So you are housed out of Focus on Energy, but you're playing the role for federal dollars in this program. Is that how it works?
Yeah, this was interesting programs. So Focus on Energy is a statewide efficiency program in Wisconsin. We've been around for almost 25 years. It's a great infrastructure for these IRA Homes in Here dollars. So the Homes in Here programs are delivered to all 50 states. The federal government, Department of Energy, said we want to give money to the states. They determined how much. It was about $150 million to come into Wisconsin. And then it was up to the state to decide how they want to deliver those funds. Lucky enough for Wisconsin, we have Focus on Energy. We've got this great infrastructure to deliver energy efficiency and electrification dollars. And so that's how the dollars, about $150 million for Homes in Here, ended up with Focus on Energy.
That's great. When we first heard it as a contractor, it was in the fall of 2024. And then I think it was rolling out then all last year. And so as an organization, we have always partnered with Focus on Energy, and we always tried to provide the information to our customers, federal tax dollars, now Inflation Reduction Act, Home Here program. So we are on board, and we have a team of people who work on this process for homeowners. But the thing that was really interesting to me and others on the team when we heard about this is that most people all over the state will qualify. Over 70% of homeowners would qualify for this. Is that true?
Yeah, no, absolutely. And so I've been working with Focus on Energy for the better part of 10 years now. And I was so excited when these programs rolled out. There is, like I said, $150 million between these two programs. And that is to help households in Wisconsin save energy and to also electrify, which is an interesting program, the HERE program. There are different levels of rebates available to people. So the HOMES program, that's our kind of a whole home approach where we're going to get an energy assessment, get a model done, and we're going to have to hit 20% energy savings to kind of unlock access to that program. There are the highest dollars amount for low-income homes, and then there's also a middle tier, moderate income, and then everyone else in the state is also eligible to participate in that HOMES program. Again, we're doing an energy assessment first, so that is a requirement. An energy assessor is going to come into your home, basically check out what's going on, the insulation in the walls, the equipment that you've got, kind of the efficiency, look at lighting, where we're losing energy potentially, where the energy is being used. And then they're going to work with you, the household, to decide what would be good upgrades. What are things that you'd be interested in pursuing to upgrade that home? They've got an energy model that they use, and so they can input these upgrades, and then it's going to spit out an estimated energy savings. And so to be able to move forward in the HOMES program, a project does need to hit a minimum of 20% energy savings. And so typically that's going to involve doing some insulation and air sealing. So certainly in older homes, they can be leaky and not have enough insulation up in the attic or in the walls or down in the basement. And then oftentimes we are also going to be looking at either water heating or our space heating and cooling, because those are our biggest energy users in the house. So once we get an energy model and we know we're going to hit at least 20%, I will note that there's another tier. If we can get to 35% or higher, the rebates actually double. So for a low-income home, that is up to $10,000, which is a good chunk of money to really get some great work done in that house to address energy.
And that also has the 150 area median income qualification too, or?
It does. So the homes program is actually open to everyone.
All right.
Yeah. So any millionaires out there, they are also able to participate. There just are lower rebates available to them. So it's 50% of project cost, and then it's $1,500 or $3,000 for higher income folks. That moderate tier, so 80% area median income to 150% area median income, they are going to be 50% of project cost, up to $2,000 if they can hit 20%, or up to $4,000 if they can hit 35% or more. And then the low income is 80% area median income and less, and they are able to access $5,000, 100% of project cost up to $5,000 for 20% savings, and then up to $10,000 if we can model 35% or greater savings. And all of this, I know I said a lot of numbers just now, all up on the website, focusonenergy.com.
And how can they find a contractor to work with in order to find those numbers?
Yeah, we have a Find a Registered Contractor portal up on the website. And so, quick note, it is different than our Focus on Energy Trade Ally. So those are all of our traditional contractors that work with Focus on Energy. There were a few different requirements of our contractors for the IRA program. So there's oftentimes crossover between the two, but in the IRA program specifically, we want to make sure we're looking for that IRA registered contractor. And there is a search tool up on the website, and they can help you find. If we're doing homes, you want to start probably with an energy assessor. And also, just a quick note, there is a cost to the energy assessments. It's not something that the program can cover up front, except for if you are a low-income household. We do offer up to $500 that your energy assessor is going to provide as an instant discount to help you figure out, right, kind of take that first step and figure out what's going on in the home. Is this a program I should consider moving forward in? The HERE program is a little bit different. This is kind of a upgrade-specific program, mostly dealing with electrification. This is only for low and moderate income customers, and so you do have to go through an income qualification process for us to verify that your income. But the moderate income tier goes all the way up to 150% area median income, which is the majority of people in the state. So really, we talk about income qualification, and sometimes that can be a little bit off-putting. But really, it's up to 150%, and that's a lot of people, a lot of families in the state. And
then, what do you think as a homeowner? When do you think they should go and fill out the paperwork? What would prompt them to do that? Why would they want to do it? Yeah, if they're interested in any of the upgrades that the Homes and Here programs have to offer. So if they want to look at heat pumps for their home for heating and cooling, heat pump water heaters. If they would like, induction stoves, heat pump dryers is in there, or if they want to look at the homes program and insulation and air sealing, there's a lot of stuff that they could potentially take advantage of. If they're interested in any of this, the first step is always going to be go through the income qualification, because there's a decent chance you're going to be able to unlock access to the HERE program, or potentially just more rebate dollars in the homes program. Great. So let's just break it down. So typical program that people I know that we're experiencing or we work with is the HERE program. Mm-hmm. And someone needs a new air conditioner that's a perfect candidate, and let's say their furnace is also at that age to be replaced. Yep. So we pair it with a heat pump and a gas furnace. Mm-hmm. So break that down for us. So if somebody wanted to do the heat pump and the gas furnace, what are some of the rebates available at the 150 and the other amount? Yeah, so for the HERE program, it is the low income is 100% of project cost up to $8,000 for the heat pump. And then the moderate income level, it is 50% of project cost, but we can still do up to $8,000. So in that case, if it was a $16,000 heat pump, that home would still be eligible for the $8,000 through this program. That's great. And then that paired with the gas furnace, they can get that done at the same time. And then also if they need to update their electrical panel, mm-hmm. if it's 100 amp and this heat pump requires 200 amp, that's also covered under the program?
Yeah, the HERE program has, and all of this information, I should say, is available on our website, focusonenergy.com. You can find the IRA Home Energy Rebates page there. There's also this great little Get Started button in the upper right of the website. And if you give us 5 pieces of information, we just need to know household size, your household income, where you live. We can basically tell you that, we think you might be moderate income or you might be low income. Go ahead and go through the process. And so it's a really quick, easy way to check kind of where you land. And so definitely gonna suggest people check that out. But then we've also got all of our rebates. So how much is available for each product. The electric panel upgrades are up to $4,000. And then if you need wiring in addition to that, that's up to $2,500.
That's great. Those are great things to do all at once if people are thinking about making those changes.
Oh, I'll also mention, we're talking specifically about the IRA HERE program, but most folks also work with utilities that are part of Focus on Energy, the statewide efficiency program we were talking about earlier. And there are rebates available there as well for something like the furnace and the heat pump. That's going to be working with a contractor such as All Comfort to get the rebate provided directly as an instant discount on their invoice.
So all those things can be stacked as well as the manufacturer rebates. For example, we're a Lennox dealer, we can stack those savings.
Yeah, we love to see that, right?
Yeah.
Get as much as you can on there, yeah.
Great. So we've covered the heat pumps and the electrification or the electrical panels. The heat pumps is the electrification. And then what about the water heaters? Heat pump water heaters.
Yeah, so the water heaters is up to $1,750. And yeah, same deal. A low-income home, they can get 100% of the project cost up to that cap of $1,750.
And someone at 150% of the area median income. So
yeah, exactly. If that was, oh gosh, what's that math? A $3,500 heat pump installation, moderate income home would still be able to receive that $1,750.
So when they do these assessments, the contractors, I heard that they use a tool called the Manual J. What is that exactly?
Yeah, so Manual J, that's a heat load calculation. They are fantastic. It's a model to essentially determine how much heating and cooling our home needs. There's different versions of it, but generally, if you kind of look at the whole building, what we do is we get the heat load calculation on the design temperature day. And so that's the 99% of all days are above this temperature. So it's kind of like the coldest, not always the coldest, but one of the colder days on average. And so that's going to tell us how much heat our heating system needs to provide on the coldest days of the year, right? So we get this heat load calculation done, and that helps us size our equipment and make sure that we are appropriately sizing equipment. Oftentimes, as you guys would know very well, being in the HVAC space, equipment can get oversized, and that can often lead to overcycling of equipment, equipment dying early, right? Comfort issues if our fan isn't blowing long enough and delivering, a nice even heating and cooling throughout the house. So the heat load calculations really help us zero in on making sure we've got the right equipment going in for the home. And in particular, when we're talking about if we have an existing furnace and we're putting in a heat pump, they do operate differently. And so we want to make sure that that system is designed and going to satisfy the heating requirements of the home.
I think, as a homeowner, the best way to do this is to submit your information on your website. And how many days do you think it takes for the team back at your office to find the qualifications?
It's going to be about a week. So if someone comes into our online portal to get their income checked, it does take about a week if we've got everything we need to go through that process. There are some programs, if you're already part of some federal assistance programs, stuff like that, if you've got the paperwork for that and you submit that, we can actually get you approved pretty quickly. But it does take a little bit. These are federal programs, and there are some requirements to make sure that there's not fraud and waste and abuse and all that stuff. So.
And then after that, they'll get an email, and they can print that off or send it to a qualifying what would you call it? There's a website that has
A registered
contractor.
Yep. Yeah, absolutely.
So then that's their proof of that they've gone through the steps, and then the contractor can take it from there.
Yeah, and if they're already working with you guys, they can actually put the contractor that they're working with right on their income qualification process in the process, and then we'll send an email to you guys as well, so that you know right away, yep, they're qualified at this particular rebate level, and you can get moving on the project even faster.
That's great. So we covered the HERE program, and is that the same for multifamily within the HERE program? Is it the same program?
Yes, same program, yep. Yeah, there was just a little bit of added complexity to the multifamily element when we're talking about many units, in a large building. Just a little bit to figure out on, how exactly we handle that appropriately. But yeah, those are now fully available, homes and HERE multifamily properties.
Great. And then you mentioned appliances. Tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, that is primarily our retail channel. So part of the HERE program, it was built into the legislation that stuff like induction stoves, heat pump dryers, and actually if folks want to buy a heat pump water heater at retail, they can do that as well, or obviously work with a contractor such as yourselves. The idea is that, the intent was always that the customer would be able to get a coupon and then take that to the store and get an instant discount right at the register. It's a pretty complex process on the back end for the retailers. Lowe's was actually able to do that. And so there are about 8 Lowe's stores in the state of Wisconsin. And so if there's one nearby and folks want to visit that store, they can go through our online portal, tell us which store they want or that they want to purchase at Lowe's, and then they can get that coupon for an instant discount. If they would like to go anywhere else in the state, the mom and pop down in the shop, right? I want to go down to Ace and grab my equipment. They can actually send in a rebate for a mail-in rebate. So they'll give us proof of what was existing. So we do need some photos kind of what was there. And then the receipt and then the picture of the equipment installed. It's important that we have those photos. Again, federal programs that require a lot of checks to make sure there's not fraud going on. Provide all that information for us, and then we'll go ahead and send you a check after the fact. So,
as a homeowner, when do you think you should decide to get the home program? So you might have a house that's 30 years old, 40 years old. Do you think you should, what age home would you want to start looking at that?
Yeah, so energy efficiency kind of started to become a concept and a thing in the U.S. In like the late 70s and around the 80s. We started putting insulation in our attics and we started sealing up our homes. If you have a home that's around that age or older, there's a decent chance that it could use some upgrades, particularly with insulation and air sealing. So that's a great thing to think about. Another one that's pretty easy to do, and now I do this all the time, and it's funny, when you're driving around a neighborhood, you can see the homes that don't have insulation, because you can start to see the lines of the rafters on the roof, and that's because heat's escaping up through the attic, and it's warming up the roof, and it's melting the snow faster than your neighbors. And so someone who's got insulation and air sealing, you'll see a nice, flat, beautiful, snowy roof, and then the neighbor next door, you start to see these kind of dips where all the roof rafters are. So that's a good indicator in the winter, as well as ice dams. That's when all of these big icicles form, right? And it's like, it's kind of classically Christmas, but it's actually also an indication of problems that you're having heat loss up through the attic. And that actually can be a pretty serious situation that can damage your home. That ice can build up over time, and it can actually kind of tear your roof apart or tear the gutters off.
Yeah.
And so the solution to that is actually to insulate and air seal in the attic. It's not that your roof is leaking or anything like that. And if you're curious, we do also have an online home energy assessment. So it's just a very quick snapshot, right? Like, hey, I'm sitting on the couch, I got 10 minutes. I'm just gonna put some stuff in. You can do it as much as you want, it's free. And that'll kind of give you an idea of, maybe I should call a professional and have an energy assessor actually come out. You can also always call the Focus on Energy hotline. Got folks, happy to talk to customers about, they're interested in the program. what's my next step? What should I do? Kind of get it, get an idea of if moving forward in the program is a good idea or not.
And then tell me about some of the, if you know of any of the focus on energy things that homeowners might want to know about, some of the rebates, things that we might not think about that are available right now.
Sure. Yeah. Focus on energy. Lots of residential rebates. Quite a few of them have actually kind of shifted over into the instant rebate realm, where we're working actually with contractors such as yourselves or manufacturers and distributors to provide an instant discount. So the customer doesn't really ever have to sign, fill out forms and do all this stuff. It's just a discount that's going to be provided for them automatically. Can go to our website, focusenergy.com, find a trade LA, or if there's heating and cooling equipment, we've got all kinds of landing pages for equipment that folks are interested in. So many of them are instant discounts, stuff like HVAC and water heating. Some of them are a mail-in rebate still, something like our insulation and air sealing program. Some of our contractors do provide that as an instant discount. Others, you would need to send in a mail-in rebate after the fact. But yeah, it's $800 or $1,000+ available, and those can also be paired with the Homes in Here program, which is great. So most people do live, particularly in this area, in the All Comfort service area, are a customer of a participating utility, and so have access to the Focus on Energy rebates.
Great. Well, I appreciate you coming down here to talk about the Home Here program and Focus on Energy.
Of course.
So thank you.
Yeah, thanks for having me.